Okay, we start off this episode with the king, not at the lake. The king is talking to his best friend Hong. Hong is explaining this warrior book about battles and how you can survive in certain situations in a battle. But the king is just thinking about the queen. He's going through all the weird things the queen has done, and through all of his thoughts about the queen, he figures out, oh shoot, the queen's gonna jump into the lake tonight, isn't she? He grabs his horse, runs to the lake with the horse. Hong follows him. The king gets there first, sees the queen's jacket, and sees the queen's hairpiece on the rock. So he immediately thinks she jumped in. He jumps in and swims to try to find her, doesn't find her, takes a big gulp of breath, swims again to try to find her, finally sees her and swims to her. Of course, she's like, get away from me. Tries to push him away, but he grabs her, pulls her back to the surface, and puts her on land. They get into this big argument about no touchy, because he's like, look, I agreed, let's do no touchy, we should do no touchy. She's like, I don't think you know what no touchy means. You know, she's like Inigo Montoya. I don't think you think this means what it think it means. She tries to explain no touchy is, I do my own thing, you do your own thing, leave me alone. The king's like, yes, no touchy, I'm gonna do no touchy. It's this whole hilarious scene with that. It ends with the maid showing up frantically. They had been looking for the queen because when they woke up, she wasn't there. They wrap her in her jacket, take her back to the palace, take her back to her quarters in the palace. The king's just like, what is going on with this queen? And I just don't know. When the queen goes back to her quarters in the palace, she's shivering. She's also upset because she doesn't know why this didn't work and she didn't get her body back. There's a spy in the hallway, a spy maid who's listening in on all of this, figures out that the queen must have jumped in the lake again. She goes and tells Jua Gun from the Kim family, who is in the queen's family, all that has happened. And the maid asks, should I also tell this to Debbie? So the Jua Gun tells her, yes, tell this to Debbie. So she tells it to Debbie. Meanwhile, the queen is just like, there has to be a way I can get my soul back into my own body and bring the queen's soul into this body. So she asked her maid, do you know any shamans? The maid tells her about Debbie. She goes and visits Debbie and is like, look, I'm trying to get a soul into this body. Debbie doesn't know what's going on. She thinks this is some kind of political stuff with the queen. So she basically tells her to leave. I don't know anything about souls. So the queen leaves. She thinks she needs to do her own shamanistic ceremony. She gets Joseon's version of the Ouija board, tries to call the spirit back. It doesn't work. She's just in a pickle. She's trying to figure out why she is still here, what happened. The king is also trying to figure out what is up with the queen. Why is she protecting me and my concubine? Perhaps there's more to the queen than I originally thought. But there's a lot of problems because the rumor has spread about the queen trying to jump into the lake again. The king knows that this rumor is spreading around. All the politicians show up in the throne room when they're talking about all their political things. They appoint Bong In as the new, I think they do that this episode. They appoint Bong In as the new head of security. Bong In says that part in the preview where he's like, yes, there's some stuff that's going on inside the palace. Maybe there's more enemies in the palace than outside of it. The king's like, well, what you talking about? If you think there's enemies in the palace, are there more enemies in the palace than there were that I don't know about? So it's just this whole thing. The king is just smug about the whole situation. He's treating it like a joke. Bong In is deadly serious, as he always is. But they want to get rid of the queen. All the politicians want to get rid of the queen. The queen grandmother's like, what is going on? Why are they trying to get rid of the queen? She is livid. The king is upset, but he's trying to hold it back in. He tells everyone, no, I do not approve this. We cannot get rid of the queen. He goes out, finds the queen, tries to figure out why everyone wants to get rid of her and tell her, basically warn her, Bong In got there ahead of time. But the king wants to warn the queen what's going on. He gives her back her hairpiece and is basically telling her, I want to trust you. The queen's like, leave me alone. Okay, fine, thank you, bye-bye. And then she runs off because she has other things to handle. Number one, the king told her, and Bong In told her, all the politicians want to get rid of you as queen. The queen also knows that her own family wants to get rid of her as queen. So she's just like, good Lord, I gotta handle all this stuff right now. So she runs off. She goes directly to the queen grandmother. When she gets to the queen grandmother, she tells her, I'm sorry, I caused all these huge issues. I'm going to fix this. The queen grandmother's like, you are the person that caused this whole problem. You need to fix it. So go fix it. So the queen's off to fix it. The queen grandmother doesn't think she can fix it at all. But the queen has a plan. And the plan is she called all the carriers in, the handsomer the better. And she had all the carriers, when they deliver everything all around the palace, they have to spread this rumor that the queen's whole goal with saying that she committed suicide was to protect the king and protect the king's concubine. That was the whole reason she did it. This rumor spreads and it blows up. By the end of the day, everyone thinks the queen went to heaven. She saw God. Now she's returned as a goddess and she's here in this new spiritual awakening body and she is trying to make peace with everyone in the palace. She's an angel. But it also made everyone not like the concubine. So everyone thinks, man, the concubine must be a witch. Why is she acting this way towards the queen? So the queen solved everything, but she ruined her chances with the concubine, which becomes apparent later when the queen meets the concubine and is trying to act all cool and suave. The concubine's like, leave me alone. You just ruined my life in the palace. And the queen's like, oh man, you are so hard to get. That part was funny. The king talks to his concubine. He tells her, okay, this whole situation is going on right now. People want to get rid of the queen. The politicians want to get rid of her. Her own family wants to get rid of her. She protected us. So we need to do something nice for her. Can you write a letter to your father saying that he should not try to get rid of the queen? I think that's what he asked her to do. And he's like, I know it's kind of awkward to write a letter to your father, who's the head minister in this place, but can you please do it? So the concubine says, yes, I'll do it for you. In exchange, he said he'll spend the night with her and it'll be their first night together. She gets all prepared for their first night together. He gets all prepared for their first night together. But by the time the nighttime comes, the queen is in the kitchen. She's sewing together this banner because she thinks she can start a company in Joseon that's a delivery company. She starts thinking, oh man, but I can do some other cool things too. Maybe I can invent air conditioning or something. I can be like Steve Jobs or like Thomas Edison here. Nobody knows anything here about the future. We take a jump to the future and we see his body, Bong Hwan, in a hospital with a mask on. Someone removes the mask. Suddenly, the queen in the Joseon area, Joseon times, just passes out. And that's where they end the episode. Yes, and we have to wait a whole another week for the next episode. It was a really good episode. I want to take a moment to thank our sponsors for that episode, who is Hello Drama. Hello Drama gave me these cute things that are super adorable, and they gave me their drama box. So I think this one might be sold out or this one might be sold out. I put this hat on him because it's wintertime and he looks so cute in it, but he has these cute little ears. He has this hoodie that you can put all the way over his head. And this one also has this hoodie. They're just so adorable and I love them so much. I love them. Thank you, Drama. Hello Drama. They are our sponsors for our recap episode on our website. Here are my favorite scenes. So my favorite scenes, the entire episode. I mean, there was truly so much good that happened in this episode. I loved when they had the no touchy fight after he saved her life. That was so hilarious. I loved it when the queen brought all the handsome carriers to her so they could spread this huge rumor about how she was the one who saved the king and the concubine. That was so hilarious. Basically, every scene with the woman who plays the queen in it is aces. The scene where she's trying to do her own shamanistic ceremony and call the soul back to her was so funny. The whole room was lit red. She was looking so serious to call this god back. Suddenly her maid opens the door and everything lights up, so she just looks really ridiculous. That was really good. I remember watching her, the actress who plays the queen. I watched her in 17 but 30, or Still 17, or 30 but 17. It had a few different names. She was really good in that, but she was not this level good. The funny thing is, she played a little girl in Still 17. Well, she played not a little girl, but a 17-year-old in the body of an adult woman. In this one, she's playing an adult man in the body of like probably like an 18-year-old girl. And she is doing an amazing job. It makes me want to go back and see some of her other dramas. Love her in this. I love the guy who plays the king too in this. He is really good. I saw him in Waikiki. What was it called? That one also went by a lot of names, but it had Waikiki in the title. He was really funny in that. He's bringing these comedic chops to this role too, which I just love so much. All right, but that's the end of our recap for this drama. If you want to check out our full live recap, you can go to Drama Milk. I'll put the links in the description. Remember to subscribe and like if you liked this video, and we'll catch you on the next drama.